helped me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The sound of the front door slamming shattered the quiet like glass exploding. I froze halfway down the stairs, my hand gripping the banister as my wife, Emily, stormed in with a boss right behind her. Her voice sliced through the air. I want a divorce. She didn't look at me. She didn't even hesitate. It was as if the words had been rehearsed, like a line from a script she practiced for weeks. Behind her, her boss, Mark Hensley, the man I'd seen her mention in passing as just a friend from Wake, stood stiff, his hand resting awkwardly in his pocket. He looked nervous, guilty, out of place. For a moment, I couldn't speak. My body went cold, my tongue heavy. All I managed was a whisper. "You what?" Emily's face hardened. "You heard me, Daniel. I want out. This marriage is over." I blinked slowly, trying to catch up. I could smell the faint trace of a perfume, familiar, intimate, cruelly misplaced in this scene. Out? Just like that. I asked. No conversation, no explanation. She crossed her arms, her wedding ring catching the living room light. "There's nothing left to explain. We've been done for months, and you know it." Mark stepped forward slightly, his jaw tightening. "Emily, maybe this isn't." "Don't," she snapped, cutting him off. And that was when I knew. The way she turned on him, not angry, but scared, was enough. I saw it, the tiny flicker of panic, the kind that only comes from guilt. I felt something crack open inside me. A hollow sound filled my ears. My voice steadied in that strange, detached way that happens when pain becomes too big to feel. "So, this is him." Her silence was my answer. I laughed then, short, sharp, humorless. "Your boss." Emily's lip trembled. "It's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think," I said quietly. "You're standing in our living room, asking for divorce, and you brought him with you? What do you expect me to think, Emily?" Mark cleared his throat. "Daniel, this isn't about me. This is between you and her." "Really?" I tilted my head, because from where I'm standing, it looks very much about you. The silence between us grew heavy. Emily's breathing quickened. I saw the moment she started to realize that her plan, whatever version of it she'd imagined, was unraveling. I walked toward the coffee table, where a single manila envelope sat today. I'd left it there on purpose, waiting for this moment. "Before you walk out," I said, keeping my voice even, "read this." Emily frowned. "What is it?" "Go ahead," I said, sliding it toward her. "Something I put together this week." Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside were photographs, printed copies of the ones I'd taken 2 nights ago when I followed her after working late. Her and Mark, laughing over wine, then holding hands as they crossed the street, his arm around her waist, their lips pressed together in the dim glow of the restaurant window. Mark's face went pale. "Jesus." Emily's mouth parted, her breath catching. You followed me." "I did," I said softly, "because I knew. I've known for a while. The late meetings, the sudden gym membership, the perfume I never bought, the way you stopped looking at me when I talked." Tears welled in her eyes. "Daniel, it wasn't supposed to happen like this." "How was it supposed to happen?" I asked, stepping closer. "You'd cheat, then walk in here with him, demand a divorce, and expect me to just sign and fade quietly." Mark stepped between us. "Daniel, she doesn't owe you an apology for falling out of love." I turned my gaze on him, cold and measured. "You're right. She doesn't owe me that. But she does owe me honesty. Something you clearly don't understand." Emily covered her face, sobbing softly now. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "That's the thing, Emily," I said, voice trembling. "You didn't just hurt me. You humiliated me. You made me believe I was crazy for noticing the distance, for asking questions. You lied with such calm that I started doubting my own instincts." She lowered her hands, mascara streaking her cheeks. "I didn't know how to tell you." "You could have just said it," I said, "that you were unhappy, that you found someone else. I would have still been shattered, but at least I would have respected you." The clock ticked on the wall, slow, loud, cruelly indifferent. After a long silence, I gestured to the envelope again. There's more in there. Copies of texts, emails, everything I collected. I already forwarded it all to HR at your office this morning. Mark's eyes widened. You what? I figured they should know their regional manager has been sleeping with his subordinate. Daniel. Emily gasped. You can't. I can, I said flatly. And I did. Mark muttered a curse under his breath and ran a hand through his hair. You've just ruined both our careers. No, I said, finally letting the anger break through the calm. You ruined your own when you decided to play house with my wife. He turned to Emily. We need to go. But she didn't move. She just stood there, trembling, looking at me like she was seeing a stranger. What are you going to do now? She whispered. I looked around our home, the framed wedding photo on the mantel, the rug she chose, the coffee mug with her lipstick stain. So many little memories, all poisoned now. I'm going to let you go, I said finally. You already left me long before today. I'm just catching up. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I never stopped loving you. I smiled sadly. You stopped respecting me. That's worse. Mark tugged her arm gently. Come on, Emily. She hesitated a moment longer, then followed him to the door. The sound of it closing echoed through the house, leaving a hollow stillness behind. For a long time, I just stood there, staring at the space where she'd been. The anger was fading now, replaced by something quieter. Grief, exhaustion, disbelief. I picked up the last page from the envelope, a letter I'd written to her days before, when I still believed I might save us. It wasn't angry or vengeful. It was honest. Emily, if you ever decide to leave, do it with truth. Not because of guilt or fear or someone else's promises. Just look me in the eyes and tell me it's over. That's all I'll ever ask. I folded it back inside, the irony sharp enough to sting. Outside, a car engine started, then faded into distance. Inside, the house felt impossibly quiet. I poured myself a drink and whispered into the emptiness. You got your divorce, Emily, but you lost the one man who would have forgiven you.